Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to the Irish Hills of Michigan, where it is getting down to crunch time for the playoff championship standings, heading over the next two races. Aaron Grosskopf going to be getting the picture that you see to you. Also be on the microphone a little bit tonight, alongside me, Ben Kilcrease. Again, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Michigan. It is round number 17 in the WCIparts.com Truck Series here in Sim500 competition, and boy, championship standings heading into tonight, really heating up. It Chad Cole sits at the top of the board there. Not much going on in the top 10 that we need to really focus on. The big thing is the top 16 drivers that make it into the championship standings. Steve Ritter sits 14th with 357 points. He is tied for 14th with Doug Sigmund, and then back 2 point back. Down to crunch time here in the championship standings. We're getting down to time here. Let's take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast, often imitated, never duplicated, the greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Welcome back to Michigan. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. Should be taken care of now. Now it's time to run you through tonight's starting lineup, and here's how they'll come to the green flag this evening here in the Irish Hills. It's Trey Edson on the pole in that Chevrolet Silverado number 40 machine. To his outside will be the number 82 of Chad Cole. Chad Coleman, same time, just add the MAN there on the end. He'll roll off third. In the number 20, Brian Macklin rolls off fourth. In that number 30, row number 3 has the 27 of Anthony DeBarro and the 51 of Justin Fuller side by side. Then row 4 has the 46 of J.D. Laird and Timothy Johnston there in the 28. Josh Parker, Jason Jacoby, 23-88 respectively, round out the top 10 as the rest of the field scrolls across the bottom of your screen as we get set to get down and go trucking for 75 laps here at the Michigan International Speedway. It's going to be a great race. We've had a lot of green flag racing as of late here in Sim 500 competition here, and it's about that time of the season where everybody knows where everybody's going to be. They know, who's going to drive in a little bit harder, who's going to save their stuff. Everybody's comfortable racing around one another, which could be the just a great equation for us to have some green flag racing here tonight, and maybe even stretch this thing into a fuel strategy race.
Yeah, Ben, the thing about Sim 500, all these guys race together in every series at Sim 500 that we broadcast. And with it being my first race back from my baseball summer break, I'm really excited to see how this unfolds because they normally run pretty good here.
Absolutely. Speaking of championships, picked up the big championship up there in North Carolina, so congrats on that. Your baseball team there, spectacular job, and we congratulate you, the whole team, and job well done. You're back-to-back champs. So now we're going to see who's going to become a champ here in the Truck Series. We've got a little bit under half the season remaining, but big championship implications could come tonight for someone inside the top 16. We'll try and keep you updated on all the points and everything as the race goes on. But here we go as they get set to put the hammer down off turn number 4. Again, Edson and Cole front row here at Michigan. Edson has 3 wins this season, Cole with 1. So each one of them trying to add another one on the board. Green flag is in the air, and we are trucking at Michigan. Great start for Trey Edson. He'll lead the field down into turn number 1. And that battle will be for second behind him. Chad Coleman, Chad Cole. Coleman inside, Cole outside. And Coleman going to get the advantage off of turn number 2. And he'll bring along Anthony DeBarro in that 27, who's got to run on the 20 machine. DeBarro looking now to the inside of Coleman as they go down into turn number 3 for the first time tonight, following Trey Edson out in front of this field in that number 40 machine. Chad Cole all the way back to 4th now. He started outside row 1 and all the way back to 4th now here on this first lap. Edson going to lead the first lap, then it's Coleman, DeBarro, Cole, and then Brian Macklin. That's the top 5 as they race down into turn number 1. Everybody trying to find where their truck's going to be good at, try and get into a rhythm here early on at the Michigan International Speedway. 2 miles around this big racetrack, one of the biggest tracks we visit in the season, and always provides some great racing, some great side-by-side racing like you're seeing in that battle for second. DeBarro not giving up on the inside of Coleman. Coleman looks to have a slight advantage up around the outside of the racetrack. Chad Cole able to now stick his nose up there, but here comes Brian Macklin in the mix in the 30 machine. He's got a big run on the front straightaway. Does he try and make it 3 wide? No, he'll push DeBarro down into turn number 1. So Macklin kind of caught up in a roadblock there as they were riding side by side in front of him. DeBarro slides up in front of Cole there. A little bit of a slide job off turn 2. As they race to the backstretch, now Macklin to the inside of DeBarro. He's got a run on that 27 machine. Here comes Fuller to the inside of Cole. Side by side, that would be for the 5th spot. Cole continuing to drop back. Just doesn't look like he's got a lot of short run speed in that number 82 here in the early part of this run as we work to complete lap number 3. They go 2 by 2 by 2 through a good portion of this top 10. I mean, look at that. Looks like we're racing at Daytona or Talladega down into turn number 1. Everybody side by side, pack racing at its best here at Michigan. The top 2 kind of opening up themselves over the rest of the field, but from 3rd on back, side by side, 2 by 2 racing into 3.
Man, I really got to applaud iRacing because I haven't seen a race in a while, and it looks like, I don't know, Ben, you might know, if they've been working on the truck builds, man, this looks amazing.
I'm not sure if they've been doing a lot of work to the trucks. I think it's just that these guys are used to the setups that they're running now, and they feel more comfortable running the trucks, and you know that shows with the side-by-side racing that we've got going on. And look at Justin Fuller all over the bumper of Brian Macklin, almost tagged it down there in 1 and 2, but you said it. Great racing up here in the front of the field, still side-by-side for that 3rd spot. Macklin down low, DeBarro up top, Fuller there in the mix, and we kind of got a weird angle down into turn 3, did Fuller, but it looks like it worked for him. Gets a good run off turn 4, going to pull up dead even with DeBarro. He gets into DeBarro. They both spin through the grass. Fuller in the grass, sideways. Can he save it? He's going to come back up on the racetrack, though. Wow. Very reminiscent of Sunday night where we saw Justin Fuller slide through the grass. He and DeBarro, big damage as they fall back. We get the replay rolled up here on the Sim Racing Network. A big moment here on lap 5. Wow, DeBarro up and in the air there across the start-finish line. A big moment there on the front straightaway, taking out some top contenders there. They're going to be fighting that damage all race long. Justin Fuller almost has spun again off turn 4 there. So Fuller drops all the way back to P24 in that 51. He has just not had a good week here at Michigan. Back up front. We go back to that battle that was for 3rd. Kind of got a little bit spread out there as the happenings occurred on the front straightaway. Macklin holds it, and now we have a caution on the racetrack. It's the first one of the night for Justin Fuller on the back straightaway. Justin Fuller off turn 2 just lost the truck, and around it goes as we get the replay pulled up, and that'll do it. So Fuller spinning out on the back straightaway, and I'm not sure of the first 20 caution how it completely reads. But if I'm not mistaken, there will be some penalties laid out for the first 20, for causing a caution inside the first 20 laps. You're going to have to go and read the whole rule pertaining to the first 20 laps, but definitely some repercussions of bringing out a caution inside the first 20 laps. And that one comes on lap 7. And going to give us a moment to catch our breaths as things got pretty exciting there in the first handful of laps here. And as it always does here in the Truck Series, these guys go from the drop of the green all the way to the checkered, and there's very rarely any time for us to, take a break and catch our breaths, because these guys just really bring the action to the track. So trucks down on a pit road for the first time tonight, and talking with some of the drivers. About 25 laps the fuel distance tonight, and here with us pitting on lap 8, that's gonna make some things up as far as the fuel strategy goes. If this thing goes green, you stop 25, you stop 50, and you're good all the way to the end. But now we're gonna have to get the calculators out and do some figuring, as a good portion of the first couple of trucks in line there slide through their box. Macklin, one of them, and Chad Coleman, the other, in the number 20 machine. So big moments there on pit road, and it's going to be Trey Edson, Chad Coleman, and how about Nick Silver picking up some spots there in that number 15. And I think he did come inside the top 10, and he took 4 tires. So a quick stop for Silver, going to put him up and inside the top 3. J.D. Laird, Jason Jacoby going to round out the top 5 as we are serving the first caution of the night here in the WCIparts.com Truck Series. You're watching it live on the Sim Racing Network. Let's take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, it'll be the first restart of the night here at Michigan.
TransService has flourished and retained customers for multiple decades. How? By making our word our bond and delivering the most responsive service and transparent financial details to give our clients the best all-around value in the industry. By not providing cookie-cutter, one-size-fits-all, off-the-shelf solutions. Instead, crafting tailored, customer-centric solutions for each client's individualized business model and needs. By empowering highly ethical, dedicated associates to build true partnerships and mutually beneficial relationships with our accounts. And by cultivating long-term, loyal customers and vendors through each and every one of these guiding principles, and maintaining those relationships with transparent, quality operations. That's why TransService has been successful for 50 years, and that's how we'll continue to grow and flourish long into the future. Let us show you why many of our clients have been with us for over 20 years. It's all about the experience, yours and ours.
Welcome back to Michigan International Speedway. As the lights go off, top TIRacing.com Ford Mustang pace car working lap number 10 of a 75, lap 65 laps to go when we return to green flag racing. And getting us back to that point will be that number 40 of Trey Edson, who had a clean pit stop there, has had a clean race all 10 laps of it so far, 20 miles. He has been out in front of this field. No really competition so far for the 40 machine. Chad Coleman is outside, didn't have the best initial start, slipped back a little bit there, worked his way back up to 4th, and hopefully he'll have a better restart here than his initial start, where he lost a handful of positions outside the top 5 there for a brief moment for a couple laps. So we'll see what happens here as the pace car gets set to duck off of the racing surface, and we get set to duck back into green flag racing. And it's Edson who is in control of the field. He'll stack them up 2 by 2, and the green flag back in the air. We're back racing here at Michigan, and Edson again, just a huge jump on the restart. He leads the field down into turn number 1, followed by Chad Cole, who is going to dip down to the inside, shut the door on Silver, and say, I'm going to have this position for the time being. To the backstretch they go. It'll be Jacoby on the inside, Laird working on the outside. That'll be for the 4th position, and here we go again with another group of 2 by 2 action with Macklin there, Coleman in the mix, and And how about that 23 of Josh Parker starting to make his way into the equation? And you have Ryan Howard right behind him, also starting to get up and into the mix. Driver who is so close to getting his first win just about every week here on the Sim Racing Network. Such a great driver. It'll be coming soon. We all know it as they race down into turn number 1, still side by side for that 4th position. Jacoby on the outside, Brian Macklin down low. That's the race for 4th off of turn 2. Top 3 get singled out and get to a nice little single file line as they race down into turn number 3. And then just like that, the second caution going to come out of the night here at Michigan, and not quite sure what it's going to be for. It looks like Brian Chambliss in the 25 gets involved. Oh no, it happened in front of Chambliss. It was the 4 of Jabu. I'm sorry, Gillenwater getting into a little bit of contact there with Justin Fuller, putting us under caution here for the second time. So, boy, Fuller just not having a good night, and that 51 gets involved in another incident there, and Chambliss, just an innocent bystander, locks up the rear tires trying to avoid the 4 and goes hard into the inside wall. Second caution of the night here at Michigan. So here we go, Aaron. 2 cautions and 13 laps. It's looking like it may be one of those races where we get all the crashes out at the first part of the race and kind of get some good racing in towards the end, which is what has happened here in the past in the WCI Parts.com Truck Series. Everybody real anxious to, and to be honest, we have had a week off, so these guys have been anxious to get back here in the trucks. So maybe just a little bit of bugs trying to get worked out. Pits are open, and couple takers. JD Laird and Josh Parker about the only ones out of the whole field. So that's kind of an interesting happening there, as they're going to be marred way back in the field. As let's see if we can't chat with one of the drivers inside the top 3, and it's going to be Nick Silver in the 15. Nick, Ben Kilcrease up in the booth, got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
There you go, Nick. Doing a great job up in P3 right now. Started 13th, up 10 positions in 14 laps. Walk us through how he was able to weave and bob. I saw the pit stop there a couple laps ago helped you out as well.
Yeah, I just started picking them off, slowly but surely there at the beginning, and then I don't know where I was before I pitted, but it seemed like I did pass half the field on pit road somehow. Just had a really good stop.
Absolutely. Now, between the 2 drivers in front of you, 4 combined wins this season. What's it going to take to knock them off and steal one from them tonight here at Michigan?
Well, hopefully we get some green flag stops here, so it's going to be all about hanging with them, till those stops happen, and maybe undercutting them a little bit, getting the edge on them, and making them pass me. But we'll see how it goes.
Absolutely. Wish you the best of luck in the rest of this race, and hopefully we'll chat with you a little bit later in the night up on the podium.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy it.
There you have a Nick Silver running 3rd tonight so far here at Michigan, and hoping it goes green so he can get up there and contend for the win with 2 of the best right in front of him, Trey Edson and a big cat Chad Cole, as we get set to turn the lights off atop the pace car. There they go, and we're going to stack this field up and get set for a restart here in Michigan. Trey Edson, Chad Cole, that's how the front row is going to look. Then it's going to be Nick Silver, Jason Jacoby, Brian Macklin, Chad Coleman, Ryan Howard, Tommy Ryan, Timothy Johnson, Sean Casto. That's the top 10 as we're set for the restart. Couple big movers. Brandon Bowie in the number 1 machine is up 13 spots from 26 to 13th for the number 1 machine. So we'll keep an eye on Bowie, see if he can continue that charge towards the front. Up front, though, Trey Edson, Chad Cole, they're the only drivers in the field that have stayed in their initial starting positions beside the number 11 of Doy Woods. Both started 1st, 2nd, respectively. So, Here we go. Field stacked up 2 by 2, and we're getting set for the restart on lap 15. There'll be 60 laps to go now when we get that green flag, and boy, it's going to be right on the edge of getting into some interesting fuel strategy if this thing goes green, Aaron.
Yeah, very shocking to see this many cautions early on in the race in the truck series. Normally these guys run pretty well, especially at Michigan.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see if they can kind of just calm everything down, take a deep breath, and get some green flag laps under our belts here at the Michigan International Speedway. Trey Edson back in the gas. We're back underway and up through the gears in the Irish Hills as Edson gets another good run down into turn 1. He is the restart king when he's out in front of the field, and Chad Cole going to try and fall into second spot. He'll do that by clearing the 15 down to the inside. The 82 goes, and Jacoby for a brief moment had a small chance of getting to the outside of Silver, but he turns it under him off of turn 2, gets to the inside. Here comes Jacoby looking for P3 down the back straightaway and heading into turn number 3. Jacoby, Silver, they go side by side for the final podium position here in the WCIparts.com Truck Series. Jacoby down low, Silver up high, still side by side with Macklin looking to join the party as well. Macklin going to make it 3 wide on the front straightaway. How about that for some lap 17 action? Still 3 wide for third as they go down into turn 1. Someone's going to have to give. It's going to get a little bit tight. Down into turn 1 and off of turn 2. Still 3 wide. Macklin, though, not able to put the power down on the bottom. Silver going to advance from the outside and take back the third spot. He clears Jacoby off of turn 2 and has that spot heading down into 3. So Silver, Jacoby, and Coleman rounding out the top 5 as they're 3 wide again behind those guys. That's Casto up against the safer barrier. They get it settled back down to 2 wide, and there's a caution trouble off of turn 4. They keep it straight. It was John Mushkin in the 3 machine, and looked to be Bobby Wetzel in the 9 getting it together. We'll get a replay of it over in turn 4. Looks like the 3 just up against the wall, maybe got into the marbles there and a little bit sideways and down into Wetzel. Great save by both those drivers, especially Bobby Wetzel, to keep that truck pointing as straight as possible.
Yeah, that was an unlucky break for the 9 of Wetzel, man. Nothing he could do there. You know, Mushkin just got loose up top, and that's all she wrote. Tough break.
Victim of circumstance, similar to the Brian Chambliss incident on the backstretch. You know, just trying to avoid the person who gets involved. Up front, Chad Cole slowly but surely reeling in leader Trey Edson, and he is bringing company. Nick Silver, Jason Jacoby, all tail to nose, top 4, and now here comes Jacoby to challenge Silver again for that 3rd spot. Down into turn number 3, Jacoby works the bottom side, get a little wiggle there as he crossed the seams, but still able to put the power down good off turn 4, and he'll have that 3rd spot at the line. I couldn't quite tell who grabbed it. It was Jacoby by about 1/10 of a thousandth of a second. That's how close it was, and now he'll completely clear the 15 down into turn 1. So Jacoby working his way through the field up from 10th to 3rd, and here comes Chad Cole on the bumper of the leader Trey Edson down into 3. Not quite close enough to make the move as the big cat, but he is there, and he's letting Trey Edson know that he is right there on the tailgate. Meanwhile, Chad Coleman was able to get around the 15 of Silver, so move Coleman up to 4th, Silver back to 5th.
Yeah, the big cat's on the prowl tonight. One thing I've noticed early on is, as we know with Michigan, you really got to keep that momentum up. And something I saw in that 3 wide battle between Macklin and those other 2 trucks, that bottom just did not work for Macklin. So that's something to note for later on in the race.
Absolutely, especially when the tires get wear. Bottom probably not going to be the best spot on the racetrack, although we say that, and just as we do, Macklin makes a pass on the bottom, a quick pass albeit, and gets up and into the 5th position with that pass on the front straightaway. So move Macklin a little bit up the scoring pylon. Has got a good battle back here for the 8th position between Johnston and Parker. They'll go side by side into 1. Just behind them, Doy Woods and Kevin Brown battle it out for the 10th position. So great racing throughout the field here in the WCI Parts.com Truck Series, as to be expected. And look who's right behind Brown there in that number 1 machine, Brandon Bowie. We said we'd keep an eye on him. He's up to 12th and stalking the top 10.
Bowie's a very experienced driver, and this is the kind of track where as
you
Macklin goes in the grass. You did not see
Macklin
that, man.
was
You beat me to it.
sideways off 4 there, and very great save by the 30, but gets a little piece of the grass. A close call there for Brian Macklin. So Macklin going to be a little bit further back in the field. Now he's one of those drivers on the outside. Well, he is actually in the show right now, but can't afford a mistake. He can afford a small mistake because Brian Chambliss, one of the drivers that was only 2 out of the top 16, he was involved in that first incident, so he is out of the race now. He is behind the wall, will be scored 30th in this event. So that's a bad break for Brian Chambliss. Good break for the guys in front of him, though, in the championship standings.
Yeah, I want to touch on something. That flashing truck that you guys saw on the broadcast, that's actually Randy Yoakum having connection issues.
So hopefully Randy's able to get those figured out. Looks fine right now, so we'll kind of keep an eye on that as well. That's a thing you got to deal with here in sim racing. We don't have a lot of mechanical failures, but you know, as far as hardware failures, you know, that becomes a plenty on the simulation side of things. So it's kind of just like a sputtering motor almost in one of these trucks if you have an internet connection issue. Battle for 10th. Here comes Brandon Bowie inside of Brown down into turn number 3. And Bowie trying to make his way up and into the top 10, but he's got some company on the outside of him. Nick Cohan sticks his nose up around the outside of that number 1 machine, and that'll be a battle for the 11th position. And Cohan's got some momentum down the front stretch from the top side.
Yeah, again, man, like I said, Ben, that top side, just keeping these trucks wound up. They're big on momentum, really big. Bigger than the B-Class car, I would imagine, or the Xfinity car, as some people know it as. You know, just the top line prevails as we're seeing it right now live.
Absolutely. So Cohan almost clear of that 1 machine, and by the time they get to 3, he will be. And whoa, Bowie had to put the brakes on there, almost tagged the tailgate of that Toyota Tundra right in front of him, but he gets it wound up, no contact made, and they keep it green. Look at Brown. He's playing a smart move, and there was some contact there between the Cohan and Brown machine down the front stretch. Cohan wanted the top side, but Brown kind of defended that line, and here comes Cohan trying to make the move down low. Will Brown be able to hold him off from the outside? Gets a not so good run through the center of 1 and 2, and will have to surrender that position to the back straightaway.
I think Kevin realized that he was a little bit faster and kind of let him go because he got by pretty easy on the bottom. Kind of something I noticed for that pass right there.
It's typically what a bumper will do to you. If you get a bumper midway down the front straightaway because the guy catches you so quick, you know, next corner I think I'm going to let him go, at least for the time being.
And now you got Casto looking as he falls back in line. Almost had a pass on Kevin there. Almost had a little bit of an opening.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on this battle. One of the most interesting ones on the racetrack. But while we keep an eye on that, let's go back up front. Here comes Jason Jacoby looking for the lead, and Josh Parker has caught past Chad Cole as well. Parker out of nowhere in that 23 up inside the top 3, and here comes Jacoby looking to the inside of the 40 for the lead. Now Cole back to the inside of Parker for the 3rd spot. Silver in that mix as well, and oh man, it was just getting interesting, but a caution on the back straightaway, and this one is for Brian Macklin in the number 30 machine. He's gone around and pounded the inside wall. So we get the replay pulled up there. Macklin, that was a a weird crash. Just it never once it hooked to the left, it never hooked back to the right to correct it out of that wall, and just a big hit there into the inside safer barrier.
And I want to say that was the second time that we saw a damaged truck spin like that. I wonder if the damage model, the updated damage model, I haven't raced in forever, Ben. You might know. The updated damage model, if that's causing these wrecks.
It certainly could be. It could be playing with the aerodynamics, and well, you mentioned it. Fuller went around on the back straightaway, very similar to what we just saw with Macklin there. Macklin had some damage from going through the grass and getting back up on a racetrack there, so it very well could be that the damage causing these trucks to kind of free up underneath the seats of these drivers. So we'll keep an eye on that over the course of this race. Nonetheless, so leaders down pit road. We'll keep it on corner to corner so you can see the pit stops, but when we return, it'll be green flag racing again as we'll come back just in time for the restart. You're watching the WCI Parts.com Truck Series live right here on the Sim Racing Network.
Liquor store in Rochester or Austin. Pick up a bottle or two of Kick-Ass Bloody Mary mix and all the fixings. Then fill your glass with Kick-Ass Bloody Mary and your favorite vodka. Add the Kick-Ass fixings. Now it's time to enjoy a Kick-Ass Bloody Mary, and of course, repeat as needed. Get your Kick-Ass Bloody Mary mix and all the fixings today at any of the Apollo locations in Rochester and Austin. It's just that good.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
Welcome back to Michigan International Speedway. Some very interesting championship standing implications taking place in the first handful of laps. Brian Chambliss, who coming in to tonight was only 2 points outside the top 16, is Out of the race, Brian Macklin, who sits 16th coming into tonight, out of the race. Jason Jacoby, who was 18th, 14 points back, sits up in second right now. Richard Swavely, who was 15 back, only one back of Jacoby, sits 19th. So we could see both Chambliss, or we are most likely going to see both Chambliss and Macklin fall off that bubble. Jacoby make it into the top 16 at the end of the night, and possibly Richard Swavely move up and into the 17th position. So we have got a lot of championship standing implications going on here over the next handful of laps, and it is really going to get interesting as we close in on the finish of this race. Closing in on halfway here at Michigan as the pace car heads down pit road, and we head back underway. Green flag back in the air as Trey Edson gets a good restart again down the front straightaway. He'll lead us down into turn number 1, and the battle's going to be for that second position. Josh Parker on the inside, Jason Jacoby on the outside. They'll go side by side into one. The bottom line gets a better run on the restarts through turns 1 and 2, and you see that as Parker pulls out in front of Jacoby, and Silver able to get a good run on the inside as well, and he'll have that position, at least for the time being, heading down into turn 3, but they're still side by side for P3, and off of 4, Silver going to try and slide up in front of the 88, but not quite clear. Jacoby gets the momentum down the front straightaway, and he'll have the run, but not quite enough to take it back there at the line. He'll have enough to still go side by side down into turn 1, and if he gets a good entrance here, he may be able to take the position back away, but Silver fighting pretty hard on the inside. Jacoby fighting equally as hard on the outside. Both drivers trying to snag that position away from each other as they're still side by side down the back stretch. And don't look down, but here comes Ryan Howard, Mr. Top 5 himself, working his way into the mix, as up and into P5 for Ryan Howard as he watches that battle right in front of him. Update on Chad Cole, who is now 3 wide and almost into the wall there with some drivers. Boy, he just did not get off of turn 4 like he needed to. He's losing a lot of positions there in the 82. The Big Cat turns on the parachutes. Looks like down the front stretch he slipped through his pit box, and with that mistake off turn 4 is now falling outside the top 10. He's got some work to do if he wants to get back up there and into a chance to finish up on a podium and for the win. Speaking of the win, we've got a battle for it up in front with 40 laps to go this time by Trey Edson. Josh Parker tail to nose. Parker all over the rear tailgate of that 40 machine down the back stretch, and backs off a little bit there in 3 and 4 for the time being, but he was all over him. Heading down into turn number 3, they go single file down into 1 for the top 5, and then great battle for 6 between Coleman and Johnston. They go side by side, that 20 and 28 off of turn number 2. Closing in on the halfway point here, about 37 down the backstretch will be about the official halfway point. We'll call halfway at 38 though, but these guys have had an interesting first half of this race. It has been wild. We've had some playoff contenders taken out, and some of these guys on the outside looking in kind of got some big saucer eyes now, because now they've got a chance to make it into the playoffs in 2 weeks. We'll finish tonight, and in Bristol will be the playoff cut line, and after Bristol, top 16 after Bristol are the ones that are going to go and make it into the top 16 and fight for the championship over the next handful of weeks. So next week's going to be fun, but we've got to finish tonight, and it is really heated up in that battle for 7th now, as Doy Woods kind of trying to work his way up into the top 5 in that 0-7. Good run for Doy as he leads a snarling pack of trucks behind him into turn 1.
Yeah, Doy's not a name that we talk about that often. He's really got it figured out tonight. Good to see him back in contention tonight.
Absolutely. He's one of those drivers that is kind of real quiet in the first part of the race, but always seems to get a top 10 there at the end of the thing, and Well, tonight he's up there mixing it up, battling with these guys. Not so much now, but he was in a fierce battle there for a couple laps, but finds himself 7th and closing in on Chad Coleman for the 6th spot as he races down the front straightaway and for the lead. Josh Parker going to be able to get around the 40 machine down into turn number 1. The first lead change of the night. Trey Edson led that lap by 0.005 of a second. Josh Parker looking to lead his first lap of the race tonight, but Edson closes back up on the tailgate, almost peeking to the inside as if he had something to say about it. Off turn 4, we'll see if Parker's able to lead this lap. He's got a good run out in front of the 40 machine, and Josh Parker opening up a little bit of a gap. 2 truck lengths back to the 40 machine here at the stripe.
Yeah, Josh Parker really had a good run there. He really caught us off guard. We weren't even looking at the battle. He just dove it off in there and was able to make it stick. What a move by Josh Parker.
And Parker was one of those drivers the driver at the end of that longer green flag run we had a handful of laps ago that kind of just closed in on the battle for the lead, and we really didn't even see him coming. Didn't even know he was there until we looked back up, and bam, he was running 3rd, and now he's got the lead here after the restart from the most recent caution. And speaking of caution, we've got one on the racetrack, and it's for Bobby Wetzel over in turns number 3 and 4, getting involved with John Mushton again, and the 3 gonna turn to 9 down in turn number 3 there. That's an interesting crash there as both those drivers come together. So we get the replay pulled up. It's kind of I don't know, it looked like Mushton was trying to bump draft the 9 and look to the inside. Maybe Wetzel was going to let him go, and just the bumpers kind of hooks there, and that was weird to say the least. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but certainly a weird crash over in turn 3. Luckily for Wetzel, keeps it out of the safer barrier and no other trucks involved. But it is enough to bring out a caution here, I do believe for the 4th time, possibly 5th here at Michigan, and it's going to be Josh Parker leading the field down on the pit road for the first time tonight. So we'll see how Parker does as the leader on a pit road. I think pit road, Aaron, is going to be the place where a lot of these, or where the race could eventually end up being won. If one of these drivers slides through their pit box, or one of the drivers has a fast pit stop, pit road could either, it could definitely break you tonight, but it could also get you the win, I do believe.
Yeah, and I mean, that's part of racing, getting in and off pit road. You got to do it, and you got to be perfect, because it could cost you so many spots, especially on a track like Michigan where you can't really pass that well.
Slow stop for Parker, fast stop for Nick Silver, who is going to grab the lead. I don't think we expected that at all.
No, that
So
15 crew is on it tonight, man. I'll tell you that. That's like the second fast pit stop they've had. Yeah. See, and that brings me to what I was saying. You could literally win or lose a race off pit road, and Nick Silver's crew is really putting it together for him this week.
That they are. So it's going to be Nick Silver leading his first laps and leading us back to the green flag here at Michigan, and that'll come when we return right here on the Sim Racing Network. Boy, getting tongue twisted. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back just in time for the restart.
My doctor calls me and says, Chris, I have the results of your scan. This is saying you have lung cancer. And that was probably the single most shocking thing anyone's ever told me in my life.
How can I have lung cancer? I'm 39. How can I have lung cancer? I do kick myself almost daily for ever starting smoking. I really do.
Quit your way. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
how to make a kick-ass Bloody Mary. First, visit your nearest Apollo liquor store in Rochester or Austin. Pick up a bottle or two of Kick-Ass Bloody Mary mix and all the fixings. Then fill your glass with Kick-Ass Bloody Mary and your favorite vodka. Add the Kick-Ass fixings. Now it's time to enjoy a Kick-Ass Bloody Mary, and of course, repeat as needed. Get your Kick-Ass Bloody Mary mix and all the fixings today at any of the Apollo locations in Rochester and Austin. It's just that good.
TransService has flourished and retained customers for multiple decades. How? By making our word our bond and delivering the most responsive service and transparent financial details to give our clients the best all-around value in the industry. By not providing cookie-cutter, one-size-fits-all, off-the-shelf solutions. Instead, crafting tailored, customer-centric solutions for each client's individualized business model and needs. By empowering highly ethical, dedicated associates to build true partnerships and mutually beneficial relationships with our accounts. And by cultivating long-term, loyal customers and vendors through each and every one of these guiding principles, and maintaining those relationships with transparent, quality operations. That's why TransService has been successful for 50 years, and that's how we'll continue to grow and flourish long into the future. Let us show you why many of our clients have been with us for over 20 years. It's all about the experience, yours and ours.
Welcome back to Michigan International Speedway. The Snowball Showdown just around the corner. 5 days, 5 divisions, and almost $10,000 up for grabs over the course of the weekend. Join us for over 24 hours of live streaming on our Triple Threat streaming service during Snowball Showdown weekend. And for more information, you can visit thesimracingnetwork.com/snowball. So here we go. Nick Silver out in front of the field. Trey Edson going to be starting second for the first time tonight on a restart for that number 40 machine. And this is going to tell the tale. Is it really that crucial, Aaron, to be the leader on the restarts, or is Trey Edson just that good on the restarts and on the short runs, coming after those restarts?
I really don't think the restarts matter. I mean, because the way the trucks are, everybody's just going to suck up to everybody with the way how this track races.
So we'll see what goes down over the next couple of laps, closing in on 30 laps to go, 31 to go right here when we get the green flag. Pace car to pit road. Silver creeps the field through the restart zone, back into gas, and boy, Trey Edson nailed that restart. One of the best restarts from the outside line. They'll go side by side for the lead down in turn one. Trey Edson trying to get that lead back already. Not going to waste any time as he gets up to speed to the back straightaway. Looks like Silver going to be able to clear him off of turn two. Maybe no. Edson with some momentum off turn two. Edson back to the outside of the 15 as they go to 3 side by side for the lead. And here comes Josh Parker back in the mix. He wants to get that lead back that he gave up on pit road. Looks like Silver going to be able to clear the 40 machine of Edson off of turn 4. Edson didn't get a good run off turn 4. That allows Parker to get to the inside as well. They almost come together there at the end of the front straightaway. Close call there as Silver really defending that inside groove. Doesn't want the 23 to get down there, but Parker's able to clear the 40, and now he's able to set his sights on that 15 off of turn 2. Here comes Parker looking low, trying to take the lead back away from the 15 of Silver, and down into turn number 3. Parker and Silver, they'll go side by side for the top spot. Just behind them, it's Edson single file, and then side by side battle again between Coleman and Jacoby. That's for P4. Give Parker the lead on the front stretch, slides up in front of that 15. Here comes Edson off turn 4 to the inside. He's trying to get there as well, almost bangs doors with the 15 down into turn number 1. Josh Parker with the lead, at least for now, as things start to heat up under 30 to go.
Yeah, man, what a battle. What a battle for the top spot here between the 15, the 40, and the 23, man. It's really nice to see these drivers be able to drive at each other like that and keep it straight.
It's good for sure here in the closing laps. Oh, and Edson pushes 15 up and into the wall there. Not quite clear was the 40 machine, and Silver going to pay the price and now go 3 wide down into turns number 1 and 2. Silver tags as a safer barrier once again, as that was almost big-time trouble on the front straightaway, but they keep it straight. Silver, though, going to be the bad guy out of that one and lose a handful of spots for that number 15. Bad break there for Silver. Look at that one machine of Brandon Bowie, who just continues to work his way further and further up the scoring pylon. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him inside the top 5 before this thing is said and done with. He's already up to 7th. He may finish on. He may have something for the win. The way that one machine is moving tonight for Brandon Bowie, he's now to the inside of Ryan Howard, looking to get the 6th position away. To the back straightaway, not going to be able to get the run off of turn 2 like he needs. We go on board with the one machine as he slides back up behind the 33 of Howard and follows him down into turn number 3. They'll go single file for the time being, and that's going to be the case for the most of the top 10 fence post formation all the way from first back through. First battle on the racetrack will be for 11th. That's between Tommy Ryan and Chad Cole. They'll go side by side. Boy, Chad Cole had a great qualifying effort and was doing good at the start of the race, but had some trouble on pit road and has just not been able to rebound back up through the field. So passing, definitely a hard feat tonight here at Michigan, and showing one of the best. Chad Cole not able to make his way back through the field. He's going to do a good job there of getting back around Tommy Ryan for the 11th position, but not easy work back here in the pack.
Yeah, I hate to sound like a broken record. It just goes to show you those pit stop mistakes. That happens often with fast people in Sim500 here recently or here over this past season. Really hurts at a track where you can't pass.
Absolutely. Boy, big wiggle for Bowie off of turn 2. He had a good run on Howard, but when he put the gas back down, couldn't get to the inside of the 33 without the back end step out from underneath him. So close call there for Brandon Bowie, who's sitting 7th, trying to make his way up through the field. That battle for 11th still going on between Chad Coleman and Tommy Ryan. They're still side by side on the front straightaway. Cole trying to run that bottom. Yeah, I called him Coleman. That's Chad Cole in the 82. My mistake there. But Cole trying to run the bottom and just can't quite put the power down like he needs to. Can't keep the momentum up like Tommy Ryan. And whoa, Ryan is sideways and in the wall. Casto goes around. It's a big one on the back straightaway. Randy Yoakum gets it. Oh, and more trouble there as DeBarro just finishes him off. The replay pulled up there. That was a very weird occurrence there. DeBarro just, man, coming there at the end of the thing and just plowed into those guys. Man, Randy Yoakum got a piece of that, big piece of the inside wall there. Wow, that was a weird crash on the back straightaway, putting us under caution here with, well, we'll restart this thing with under 20 to go. So buckle up if you got some seat belts at home. It's about to get wild here, and we've got a pit stop coming up here, and we're good till the end on fuel, but we know how the pit stops go here at Michigan, and we've seen it tonight. Who is going to be able to get in and out of pit road mistake-free? This may be the final pit stop of the night, so it could be, you know, a situation of, you know, who's going to win this race on pit road or who's going to lose this race on pit road. Coming up, pits are open this time by. We'll keep an eye on those top contenders to see how they do on pit road. Josh Parker going to be the first truck to lead us down. You know, I was wondering if we got a short run here tonight, if we'd see anybody try 2 tires. I don't think we've got a short enough run for anybody to try 2 tires. That run right there was 7 laps. Like Garen just said, my ear, Byron Daly not here. So We're not going to see any two-tire Daily
there's
runs
no
tonight
Byron
for
Daly
sure.
in the house, so we will not see two tires winning a race tonight.
J.D. Laird, big slide for that 46 and still had problems getting in, so he's going to fall a couple positions here. Again, Parker led the field down pit road. Is he going to lead them off? The 23, it's going to be close, but he's going to do it. And boy, Trey Edson going to lose some positions there in the 40.
Yeah,
and Brandon, sorry to cut you off there, Aaron. Brandon Bowie gets charged with a speeding penalty in the 1.
Oh man, we see that triumphant run he was trying to make through the field probably come to an end because I don't think he has enough time to make all those spots back up for the second time in this race.
The Stinger, he was going to restart 5th. Wow, big moment there for Brandon Bowie, and big moment for Trey Edson as he's going to restart the furthest he has all night tonight. So that's going to be interesting there for the 40 machine, as we've got a couple of laps under this caution. We'll see if we can't pull up a driver. See if we can't dial anybody up on the radio. Trying to find the right channel to dial up somebody. Our first go-to not going to cooperate with us. My second go-to not going to cooperate with. Maybe we won't talk to a driver under this caution. Maybe we'll just sit here and get chatted up for a couple more laps until we go back green flag racing. Looking maybe Josh Parker. He's not connected to the communications channel either. So
unfortunately, all the drivers aren't in to the communication channel that we can get them in the broadcast. Normally, the guy we were going to talk to, which would be the 88 of Jason Jacoby, is in here, and he's not. So unfortunately, you have to listen to me and Ben babble about randomness under this caution.
I was gonna do Coleman. He's not here. I was gonna do Parker. He's not in the communications channel either. So I mean, we struck out there. Three out of the nose there. So nonetheless, so let's just run you through the top 10 here as they sit and get set for the restart. It's going to be Josh Parker leading us back to the green flags. We fall under a little bit of shade here at the Michigan International Speedway. Jason Jacoby going to restart second. Third will be Chad Coleman. Trey Edson fourth. Up from 16th to 5th is going to be Nicholas Cohan. 14th to 6th is Ryan Howard. Chad Cole gets some positions back on that round of pit stops there. He's back up to 7th. Timothy Johnson is 8th. Doy Woods 9th. And Kevin Brown rounds out the top 10. Kind of keeping an eye on Richard Swavely, who was one of those drivers on the outside looking in the championship standing, as he's found his way up to 15th, which is going to be a good points night for Swavely, and this thing far from over. So the driver to 38, I think if he can stay there, he may have a shot next week at Bristol to possibly make it into the playoffs. So keep that in mind. Jason Jacoby also cannot afford any mistakes here. As of right now, he's going to be in the playoffs and a couple points to the good if he finishes inside the top 5 where he sits right now. He sits second right now for this restart. It's going to be Josh Parker leading us back to the green flag, and it is go time here at the Michigan International Speedway. 19 laps to go when we get the green flag this time by at the line. So here we go, Aaron. It's go time, and we're about to see who has saved a little bit of the horses under the hood, and well, who's gonna not have enough to end up in victory lane tonight. So here we go. It's gonna get exciting as closing in on the final stages of this race. Still 22 trucks on the lead lap. Robert Gillenwater, Brian Chambliss, Steve Gutschonk, Brian Macklin, John Amustian, and Anthony DeVaro all pulled behind the wall. Randy Yoakum, Tommy Ryan 2 laps down. Sean Casta 1 lap down. He sits 23rd. So that's how the back of the field looks there. And how many trucks still left on the lead lap? Still a good field of trucks on the racetrack and a stout top 10 getting set to battle it out here in Michigan. Pace car to pit road. 2 by 2 by 2 with 19 laps to go on the Irish Hills. Got a restart for Parker. He's able to clear the 88 down into turn number 1. They'll go side by side for third. That's Coleman on the inside. Edson on the outside. Edson falls right back behind the 20 machine off of turn number 2, and they'll go tail and nose to the back straightaway. Looked out for a brief moment. Did the 40. Couldn't quite get the run he needed. Now he can't decide where he wants to go. Did he want to go with the 20? Did he want to stay high? Coleman to the inside of Jacoby, trying to make a big move there in turn 4. Not going to happen as Jacoby able to put the momentum down on the outside, holds on to that position for the time being, and now Edson able to get to the outside of the 20 as well. And here comes Cohan looking to the inside of the 20, 3 wide for third as they go to 1. Close quarter racing. Edson clears the 20. The 20 clears the 21. And, boy, Cohan going to lose a couple spots there as he falls way back. Talked about it earlier. That momentum off the very bottom, just not there. And we saw
Business
it happen.
definitely picking up.
Right there.
Definitely picking up.
That it is. Here comes Ryan Howard now to the inside of the 20 machine, trying to make some ground up here in the closing laps of this race. Howard, that'll be for the 4th position down the front straightaway side by side with that 20 machine. Then behind them side by side is Cohan and Cole. Some great racing inside the top 5 here in the final closing laps of this race. Coming up on 16 to go this time, and these guys really jousting for position.
One thing I noticed that the 23 is doing, for you fans at home or people watching on your devices, he's getting low on the straightaways, and the other cars are staying high. He's trying to break the draft so they can't draft up to him and reel him back in.
Absolutely, and Jacoby kind of picked up on it there, started to follow the 23 machine down the front straightaway, and you see him. He's able to close up with that draft to the back straightaway. Here comes Jacoby. He's got a run off 2. Parker doing everything he can to break the draft, but Jacoby is there. He is there to turn 3, and we've got a battle for the lead up front. Jacoby on the bumper of Parker. 15 laps to go in Michigan this time by. 60 down, 1-5 to go. Edson sits third there, and I think he's just going to ride right here and see what these guys decide to do. Jacoby back up to the middle side of the racetrack. Kind of a cat and mouse game, following the tire tracks, and when the 23 makes a mistake, make the move, which is what may happen off turn 2 here. Jacoby gets another good run to the back straightaway. When does he make the move? Does he go to the inside? Jacoby down low, a little blocking action going on down to 3.
A lot of race wins, a lot of experience between those 2 drivers. This is really going to be a good battle to watch.
Absolutely, and one driver with 4 wins this season right behind him. Jacoby's got a nose on the 23 down the front straightaway. Now he's got a half a truck. Now they're dead even into turn 1, and now Jacoby gets a sniff of the lead for the first time tonight here in the Irish Hills, and they'll go side by side for the P1 spot down the back straightaway. Sean Castillo, lap machine, going to get up and out of the way, or down and out of the way rather, on the back stretch. There's Jacoby and Parker. They'll battle for the win. Closing in, 13 laps to go this time by. It is heating up front. There's some contact between the 2. Parker goes in the wall. Parker in the wall from the contact from Jacoby, and now Trey Edson to the inside of the 88. Another battle for the lead in the 1. Edson to the inside. Jacoby going to lose the lead. Contact maybe between the 33 and the 88. They're real close racing down into turn 1, but Trey Edson back up front and back to the lead.
Look at Cohan back up there battling with the 33 right now. Man, this has really changed everything, that little scuffle between the 88 and the 23.
Close call on the front stretch for a lot of drivers as the 23 was up and into the wall. Allowed some of them to check up, and here comes Chad Coleman. Chad Cole, and followed by Chad Coleman is Chad Cole. Boy, a lot of Chad Coles floating around here in the final laps of this one, but Those guys all closing up on one another. Look at Cohan still trying to make that bottom work on the inside of Ryan Howard. They'll go side by side, but Cohan just not able to put the power down. A little wiggle there from Jacoby. Gets loose. Howard makes the move down the back straightaway for the runner-up spot. Here comes Ryan Howard. Down into 3, trying to make the move on Jason Jacoby, trying to get to P2 and off of turn 4. He's got him cleared. A slide jump from the 33 to the 88. And boy, Trey Edson loving what he sees in his mirror. He's starting to open up his lead with just 11 to go.
Man, what a battle. What a battle for the runner-up spot here. It just changes every lap. Now you got Chad Coleman in front of Chad Cole now. Chad Cole fell back.
And Coleman trying to get around Jason Jacoby, who had the lead just a couple laps ago. Here comes Cohan to the inside of Howard, trying to make up some ground there. Both these drivers are from the 14th and 16th positions, starting positions, way back on lap 1 of this race, and they're now side by side for the runner-up spot. Cohan trying to clear the 33 down the front straightaway, not quite able to do it off 4, but he may have him down into turn number 1. Cohan gonna send it deep. They're running out of time to chase down the 40 machine. No, they've got to get sorted out, or they're going to go side by side. And Cohan walks it up the track. Howard sideways down the backstretch as well. And while that happened, Edson just waving in the rearview mirror. He's saying goodbye, guys. Big moment there on the backstretch for the drivers battling for the runner-up spot. Chad Cole now back up to 4th and looking for 3rd, maybe even the runner-up spot if he can get by both these guys in one sitting, working lap 67 of 75 now, closing in on 8th to go, this time by 8.5 as we work down the back straightaway now with Trey Edson out in front of the field. I think he's got it pretty much wrapped up if they continue to race side by side like they're doing for the runner-up spot.
Yeah, I noticed something. The 21, that with that nose damage, he is moving around a lot more than the cars behind him, and that might be what's checking up everybody, is because they were side by side as they just sorted out, and now Chad Cole could be on the move here in the next lap or 2.
Absolutely, the big cat getting by the 33 of Howard. Up to 3rd for the 82, and some contact there. The 21 sideways and saves it. Did Nick Cohan. We stay green. Down the back straightaway, Chad Cole holds on to 3rd. It's goodbye for Trey Edson. They're 3 wide. Yeah, Johnston, big capitalization from the 28. He's up to P3 as the rest of the field goes 3 wide behind him. Holy cow.
The 28 literally came out of nowhere, Ben. Out of nowhere. Man, that changed so quick. It's like a hurricane. You never know.
Absolutely. Last time at the line, Johnson was scored 6th, and now Jacoby goes around, and that's enough for a caution. Now Coleman sideways as well. Wow. Big moment there. Jacoby and Howard get together into turn 1. Didn't completely spin around. Got sideways enough, though, to warrant a caution flag. And then Kevin Brown got into the bumper of Chad Coleman to turn him sideways there after the fact. Oh, man. I'm kind of glad for that caution. I need a moment to catch my breath.
Yeah, Ben, I mean, a lot of misfortune for a couple of drivers there, but it puts on a really, really good show when you see someone like the 28 come out of absolutely nowhere and is now going to be racing for the lead on this restart.
Yeah, and what I was trying to say before that caution, Johnson was scored 6th the prior lap, and next lap he's up to 2nd and trying to run down Trey Edson. So Johnston with a great run here tonight at Michigan and trying to hold on to that as we close in on regulation time. Not sure we'll quite make it to a green-white, or overtime rather.
I mean, it just goes to show you, Ben, like the momentum of the trucks in iRacing. How much losing a just a little bit of momentum from a wiggle or a giggle or whatever you want to call it changes your whole lap.
That it does. Pits are open. What's going to happen here? Hold your breath. Oh, Edson stays out. Oh, the 93 just hit the wall. Gotta get a replay of that. Is replay. Brown decided at the last moment to stay on track, and now he's gonna have to come down pit road either way and get the damage fixed on the right side of that truck. We'll let you know who comes out where. Yes. Oh man, Johnson gonna win the race off pit road, and we'll let you know how everybody lines up. After that, we'll take a quick commercial break right here on the Sim Racing Network, and we'll be back to take you to the checkered flag.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
How to make a kick-ass Bloody Mary. First, visit your nearest Apollo liquor store in Rochester or Austin. Pick up a bottle or 2 of Kick-Ass Bloody Mary mix and all the fixings. Then fill your glass with Kick-Ass Bloody Mary and your favorite vodka. Add the Kick-Ass fixings. Now it's time to enjoy a Kick-Ass Bloody Mary, and of course, repeat as needed. Get your Kick-Ass Bloody Mary mix and all the fixings today at any of the Apollo locations in Rochester and Austin. It's just that good.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
Welcome back to Michigan International Speedway, and it's about to be an exciting restart here at Green White Checkered. This will finish in regulation time, so we can still have one more Green White Checkered after this if we have a caution prior to the white flag. Here's how the field's going to get lined up. It's Trey Edson and Doy Woods on row number 1. No tires for these guys. The last time they pitted was on lap 56. So these guys on 12-lap-old tires. Kevin Brown in the 93 inside, Jason Barham outside. Now that damage on the 93, not from a green flag incident. That happened under caution when he decided to stay out under this caution and jerked the wheel really hard and made contact with the safer barrier on the front straightaway. Brandon Bowie, the final car on no tires. Timothy Johnson, Chad Cole, Ryan Howard, Jason Jacoby, Chad Coleman, Nick Silver, the rest of the field all came down, got some fresh tires. So here we go. A restart with 2 laps to go, 4 miles, and these guys on fresh tires have got a couple rows to get through to try and win this race. 12-lap old tires for the top 5. Pace car to pit road. Watch for some tire spin on the restart. The green flag back in the air. We're back underway at Michigan for 2 laps. Already Timothy Johnson on the move with help from Ryan Howard. Here they come around the outside. They're all the way up against the rim of the racetrack. Brandon Bowie almost came up and doored the 33. Here comes Chad Cole in the 82 down on the inside. Brown off the pace off turn 2. They're going to get stacked up big time on the back straightaway. 3 wide, contact. Brown is going to go hard into the inside wall, and the caution's going to wave. Caution out on the racetrack. There will be a green-white checkered. Get the replay pulled up there for Kevin Brown over on turn number 2. He had some help, it looked like, from the 46. I don't know if that was kind of washed up into though. Yeah, it looked like Laird was kind of coming down and Brown was kind of coming up. They just come together there. Brown was so off the pace that kind of was in the way there and puts us under the caution again there with the contact, and don't think that contact with the wall under caution helped him out any there as he stayed out trying to get some spots there. But I tell you what, if I am Trey Edson, I am sweating bullets because now Timothy Johnston, Ryan Howard, they're going to be on the row right behind him, and they were able to pass 3 cars prior to lap 2 or turn 2 on the restart. So if I'm Edson Doy Woods, I am thinking to myself, how am I going to make this truck that wide? Or B, how am I going to make it through turns 1 and 2, and hopefully we can get to the back straightaway and a caution flying in this thing.
Yeah, and remember, in Sim 500, we only get 1 attempt. It's not like normal NASCAR where they get however many that is. I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it's unlimited, isn't it?
Yeah, I do believe so. So only 1 attempt, though, here in Sim 500 competition. And what that means is we'll get the restart here. If we make it to the white flag, most of the time, the next flag that ends the race will be the checkered. However, if we do not make it to the white flag and there's a crash on, say, the back straightaway, just like this most recent incident, then the yellow flag will fly and that race will end, or that caution flag will end the race, and we'll go to the last completed scoring loop to get the finishing order. Brian Chambliss, by the way, has come back and rolled his truck out of the garage, and in doing so has picked up 3 positions, and is going to pick up 1 more. So
yeah, that's
Chambliss.
That's just what you're going to see when people are on the bubble bin. I mean,
yep.
You as a driver know. I mean, you got every position is valuable, especially this late in the season.
Absolutely, and especially when you were on the outside already looking in on the bubble spot there for the playoffs. So Chambliss is trying to do everything he can to get himself in position to possibly have a shot at the championship, or at the playoffs, rather, come next week at Bristol. And with Jacoby losing some positions here, he's back to 9th, and if he gets caught up in an incident here in the next couple laps on this restart, or if he falls back anymore, then, we could see Chambliss make his way up and into the top 16.
Now, Ben, I got a question.
That's just over.
I got a question for you, Ben.
All right.
Okay, you as a driver, in a situation like Edson is, what are you going to do to ensure that you get the win here? Like, what would be your initial thoughts?
I'm going to get on the gas as early as I can and just make my truck as wide as possible. I know the guys on fresh tires are probably going to catch me on the back straightaway. I'm just got to try and block as much as I can. I think that's his only choice heading into these last handful of laps.
Yeah, just run and hope they wreck behind you or hope they can't catch you. But with the way the draft package works, Ben, they could catch him pretty quickly if he got out there too far.
Yeah, and well, not to mention Edson's on 12-lap older tires than these guys too, so that alone is good enough for. Oh, let's see, that's about a second a lap almost fall off, right about 8/9 fall off. So, I mean, these guys are already almost a second slower than the drivers behind them are going to be on the fresh tires. So this is really going to be an interesting restart here with Johnston. I mean, Johnston could pick up a win here.
Yeah, you could sneak in there like the Casper the Ghost, man.
Absolutely. Ryan Howard could get a win here in the WCI Truck Series. Don't count out Chad Coleman or Chad Cole. They're in the 82. They're not too far back, and they've got the potential to get this win as well. Edson going to choose the outside for the first time tonight, and that's an interesting choice for this green-white checkered.
I believe him and the 07 are friends. I mean, I don't know how close they are, but I believe they are friends. That could be something they're working as well. I think they're in the same communication channel together, if I'm not mistaken.
Could be. So we'll keep an eye on that. And man, this is this is really going to get interesting. I think if Johnson were to hold on, he would pick up his first win of his Sim500 career.
I believe you're right. I haven't seen him win anything. I mean, I could be wrong. Not taking anything away from him, but I believe you're right.
So here we go. A lot on the stake. Some championship implications still, lingering around as well. And only 2 laps to settle it. That's a lot on the stake. Well, a lot on the line. And, a lot of seasoning on the steak for one of these drivers if they win tonight. That's what I was trying to get at. So here we go. Doy Woods, Trey Edson, front row. Edson is the leader. Front row has no tires. Row behind him, fresh tires. Green flag back in the air. Edson gets a good restart, but he's bringing Ryan Howard with him on the outside. Now Johnston down to the inside. 3 wide for the second position. Edson's only shot now is hopefully they crash behind, and it's big enough to bring out a caution because Johnston's on the move. To the back straightaway, Johnston closing in on Trey Edson for the lead. Coming up to the white flag this time by, which will signify the final lap of this one in overtime. Edson down into the 3. He's being caught by Johnston. Johnston around the outside, picked his pocket in turn 4, and you got a new leader. But here comes Ryan Howard in the 33 to challenge Johnston as well to the front straightaway. Chad Cole, the big cat, up to P3 as they race down into turn number 1. The white flag in the air, the final lap here at Michigan International Speedway. Johnston doing everything he can to hold on and win this race in the WCI Parts.com Truck Series. He's got a good run to the back straightaway. A 3-truck lead advantage for the 28, and down into turns number 3 and 4, there's a crash behind. We're going to stay green, though. Johnston is going to do it. Timothy Johnston, right place, right time, plays the tire strategy and wins at Michigan. Trey Edson gonna crash off of turn number 4 and barely make it back to the flag.
What a show, man. What a show. The outside, man. Said it all day. Outside place to be.
Yep.
Obviously, he had fresh tires. Obviously, other things played into his hands as well. But the outside was the winning pass. I said it all broadcast.
That you did. Richard Swabley, he's going to finish 9th in this race, which may be a good points night for him as well. We'll talk to The big winner, though, Timothy Johnson, Ryan Howard, and Chad Cole in our post-race show coming up right here on the Sim Racing Network. Don't go anywhere. That's up next. You'll watch Johnston do his burnouts on Corner to Corner. We'll be back from Michigan.
TransService has flourished and retained customers for multiple decades. How? By making our word our bond and delivering the most responsive service and transparent financial details to give our clients the best all-around value in the industry. By not providing cookie-cutter, one-size-fits-all, off-the-shelf solutions. Instead, crafting tailored, customer-centric solutions for each client's individualized business model and needs. By empowering highly ethical, dedicated associates to build true partnerships and mutually beneficial relationships with our accounts. And by cultivating long-term, loyal customers and vendors through each and every one of these guiding principles, and maintaining those relationships with transparent, quality operations. That's why TransService has been successful for 50 years, and that's how we'll continue to grow and flourish long into the future. Let us show you why many of our clients have been with us for over 20 years. It's all about the experience, yours and ours.
How to make a kick-ass Bloody Mary. First, visit your nearest Apollo liquor store in Rochester or Austin. Pick up a bottle or two of Kick-Ass Bloody Mary mix and all the fixings. Then fill your glass with Kick-Ass Bloody Mary and your favorite vodka. Add the Kick-Ass fixings. Now it's time to enjoy a Kick-Ass Bloody Mary, and of course, repeat as needed. Get your Kick-Ass Bloody Mary mix and all the fixings today at any of the Apollo locations in Rochester and Austin. It's just that good.
Welcome back to Michigan International Speedway, and boy, when we were about to talk to one driver who had his fair share of up and downs tonight, started second, and started third. No, he started second, finished third, and boy, he was outside the top 10 at one point. Had a couple incidents in front of him, got a little bit of damage on that 82, but Aaron Grosskopf, he's able to round it out and finish in P3 for the Big Cat. What's he got to say about today's race?
Well, I caught up with the big feline, Chad Cole, my favorite driver at Sim500 because he has big paws. And Chad, take us through your race. You started second. You fell back multiple times, and you were able to prevail at the end. How did it unfold for you?
Yeah, that is certainly self-inflicted on pit road. I made a mistake there. Actually, twice. I slid through my pit box and had to go back there. Is really frustrating to try to pass some of these guys. The trucks are so equal, and it's hard to get momentum and a good run on people. So just had to kind of be patient. I know it's hard to be patient in a relatively short race, but we were able to get back up there. I was kind of surprised that all those guys stayed out. Well, I think the caution came out with like 6 to go or something. So I was really surprised by that, and kind of knew that they'd be sitting ducks. I knew that they're just kind of hoping and praying for a caution there, but they still kind of got ate up there on that green-white checker. So we'll take the with the third place all day after being back to I think 12th or so.
Tell us from your point of view. I know you saw it or heard about it. Tell us your thoughts about your teammate hitting the wall under caution.
Yeah, I'm really embarrassed for him. You hate to see that. Kevin, he's an alright guy, I guess. I mean, good person to call a teammate, and I just hope you guys replayed that as many times as you could under that entire caution, because that was pretty bad. I had to go back and watch that myself, and yeah, that's really unexcusable at this level of sim racing. You really expect more than that from people.
Yeah, man, it's we showed it 3 times, just so you know, for reference, if you're going back in the broadcast and finding it. But who gets it done for you week in and week out? Who helps you get to to the racetrack every week.
Yeah, I gotta give a shout out to WCI Parts for sponsoring this Wednesday series. It's by far the most fun I have at Sim500. The Cup car is not too enjoyable right now on Monday night, so I really look forward to Wednesdays racing the truck, and it's really a fun series to be a part of. So I gotta thank WCI Parts for being a part of it, and my teammate for tonight, he kind of embarrassed himself. Kevin DeBrown, give him a shout out too, and the fine folks at SRN. You guys do a great job. Appreciate you guys.
Well, we appreciate that. There you have it, Ben. Coming home third tonight, heading to the big letter box to get ready for next week.
That's Chad Cole coming home P3 tonight. When I called him Mr. Top 5 himself, he's going to rack up another top 5 and keeps getting close to that win. Ryan Howard comes home second tonight after a 14th place qualifying effort. Worked his way through the field, and boy, Ryan had a fair share of exciting stuff happen in front of you. Talk about the racing and talk about those last couple restarts, especially.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. We just didn't get, it's pretty white knuckle. We didn't have a full run there to see the full effect of the looseness come out, but I think you could basically see it on the broadcast, how much we had our hands full tonight, even after 5 laps or so. It was just crazy. So I knew, I didn't know Tim had tires there in the 28. I thought I was pretty much in the catbird seat waiting for the front two to, I knew they were on old tires, and I was pretty much just waiting for them for the C's to part for me to go through for the win. But Timothy got down there on the bottom. I saw that, and wasn't sure. But once I knew he had tires, I knew I was kind of in a bad spot. But the bottom lane on the restarts was just superior. It was pretty tough to do anything up top. So did the best we could. Had a little damage, but man, I really wanted that win. It's been a while, and we've been running great this year. But I'm just glad to have an interview.
There you go. Glad to have you up on the podium. P2 heading into Bristol. You know you're locked into the playoffs, or mathematically pretty much locked into the playoffs. So how big of a sigh of relief are you going to breathe heading into Bristol next week, knowing that you do have a shot to race for the championship within the next few weeks after Bristol?
Yeah, well, unfortunately for me, schedule changed a little bit, so I won't be able to run for a championship in this series starting next week. So we'll show up, maybe a couple races here to end the year, but hopefully somebody else deserving can take my spot. Hopefully they'll bump whoever up and give them a shot. So kind of sucks, you know. I prefer to finish out the season, but just not the way it works. But you know, we'll still be running Sundays for that one, hopefully, and finish out strong there. But it's a good run in the trucks this year.
Certainly, indeed, and wish you the best in all your future endeavors there. Who gets it done for you behind the scenes, though, gets you up on the podium like tonight?
Yeah, I just got to thank my teammates, Tommy Ryan, Randy Yoakum, Jeff Ryan, in here every week, pulling some strategy, trying to get us up front and run with these guys and pull out some wins. It's a tough group of guys, so you know, it's been fun, and obviously you guys for the broadcast, it's great. Definitely go back and watch them every race. So looking forward to that, and we'll probably see you next Sunday.
We have it, Ryan Howard coming home P2 tonight, and walk just a little bit over and talk with the first-time winner here in Sim 500 competition, and it happens in very exciting fashion. Timothy Johnston going to get the win here at Michigan, and I was looking through your stats there, Tim, under the commercial break, coming back to the post-race show here, and you finished in just about every position possible except for first. You're going to blow that stat out of the water here tonight at Michigan. Walk us through those final handful of restarts and how you was able to snook your way up here and get the steal the win away, kind of sort of from Edson there at the final, coming to the white flag there. Walk us through those restarts.
Yeah, that well, it all started really when a couple trucks got together in the middle of 1 and 2 and got loose, and I was able to split the middle and get up to second, and then had a caution after that. Pitted, and it just happened to be right place, right time, gained 3 spots. Caution came out again for the green, white checkered, and started low, was able on fresh tires, so I was able to hug the yellow line and drive around Trey on the outside going into 3.
It was an exciting race all race long, a lot of battles throughout the event, and a lot of hard racing, but as a driver, how's it feel to get your first victory here at Sim 500? A very stout group of drivers.
Yeah, it is. It definitely means a lot. Everybody knows, Sim 500's got some of the best drivers around as far as sim racing goes. So, it means a lot to be able to win against these guys. Usually I'm just sitting there watching blow my doors off. So it's nice to finally get my first.
Absolutely. I'm sure you'll remember this for some time to come. Timothy Johnson in victory lane here at Michigan. Tim, who gets it done behind the scenes for you? Who do you want to thank for putting you here at in the winner's circle of Michigan?
I definitely want to thank my main sponsor with RS Customs, USAA, Dizzy Motorsports, Nick Cohan, and all those guys. They're a blast to race for. The WCI parts for sponsoring the series, and the fans who tune in and watch you guys do such a great job broadcasting every week.
Certainly. Thank you for the kind words there, Tim, and we congratulate you again on your first victory, and hopefully that'll rack up some momentum and we can see you up on the podium a little bit more often.
I hope so. I hope that opens the door. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Timothy Johnson, winner tonight here at Michigan. What a great show, Aaron. These guys in the Truck Series, they do it week in, week out. They provide us with some of the best racing we see all week in Sim 500 competition, and no different tonight here at Michigan. Just some great side-by-side racing all race long. We had some beating, we had some banging, and man, what a great finish there at the end.
Yeah, man, what a great show. I mean, I talked to you during the commercial break there, and, we love first-time winners at SRN. It's nice to see a different person win. We get so used to seeing the same people win, the Comstocks, the Edsons, the Dailies. It's nice to sprinkle a new one in and get him on the broadcast and let him have some fun with it.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate everybody tuning in tonight, and I want to give a big shout out to WCIparts.com for sponsoring the Truck Series here and for Sim 500 for letting us do these on Wednesday nights. I'm going to congratulate Timothy Johnson one more time again for his victory here. First one in Sim 500. So for Aaron Grosskopf, I am Ben Kilcrease. We say good night from Michigan International Speedway. Remember, when you're out there on the roads, to put that phone down. Till we meet again, rather. Good night, everybody.